Piece of the family, piece of you and yours. In the building, reporting live and direct from New York City, the zoo to be exact. Hmm. Pulling up in the coop in the zoo. Yeah, we in the zoo. Episode 52, live and direct. Peace to the family. Can I get a roll call? Could we get a roll call so we know who is in the building tonight? That's one of my new things that I'm gonna start doing, so everybody, could be familiar with who's in the building with them and where they're from. You might got somebody that's in your town, and this is your way to connect. Shout out to Tennessee, North Carolina, San Antonio, Louisville, Kentucky. Salute to Louisville. VA, Seattle in the building, Kansas City in the building, NC in the building. Yes, sir. Town business, Oakland in the building, BX in the building, Savannah, Georgia is in the building. All right. South, okay. Houston in the building. Shout out to Houston. Arizona in the building. Chicago in the building. Chi-Town. North Philly in the building. Okay. Tampa, Florida in the building. All right. Florida in the building. Land of Flowers. Salute. Okay. Salute to Rhode Island. I got peoples in Rhode Island. Peace to y'all. All right. Everybody say peace to Empress Brown, the moderator that's in the building, who does a wonderful, excellent, top of the line job every week when we pull up. What's good, Chicago? I see Chicago is in the building heavy. Yeah, surviving R. Kelly, I see. Uh-oh, Chicago again. Salute to Chi-Town. Oh, y'all gonna like this conversation tonight. If Chicago's heavy in the building, that's the way that the ancestors have lined this up. We're gonna touch on a lot of the ways that the ancestors have been lining things up in the past few days. I was gonna name the name of this lecture "Surviving Burbox." Okay, uh, Melanin Monday, episode 52, Surviving Burbox. We're gonna talk about this tonight. We're gonna show how the ancestors are speaking, and the Great Divine is speaking in signs, or the time period that we're in 2019, the way that this year is starting. I'm gonna show you the synchronicities on what's really going on, how this thing fits together like pieces in a puzzle. Surviving Bird Box. All right. First and foremost, salute to Brother Rich of the mighty powerful Black Magic 363, the immortal 363. My vote for the best platform in 2018 on the whole entire YouTube network of 2018. My brother is he's a master of what he does. You feel me? And we just did an interview. It went viral. I think it did 60,000 in one day. And that was the breaking down of the R. Kelly, Surviving R. Kelly series. For anybody who may be deep into their studies and have successfully unplugged in the matrix, you reside in Zion and you're completely a bliss. You don't know what's going on. You just tune in because the notification goes off. Well, what was going on for a few days is that, the collective consciousness was focusing on a campaign, a hit job, a hit job. I talked about this before in a video that we did with Kevin Hart, that Hollywood, or the agents that work through Hollywood, which is a weaponized arm of the military, Hollywood, okay, it's considered also a weapon. And when they weaponize it, then you see hits take place. Hits are journalistic attacks. Hits are documentaries, or hits are propaganda that's aimed to do what? To assassinate characters of the people who they put a hit on. You feel me? Hollywood does hits. Hollywood makes hits, but Hollywood puts out hits, and Hollywood also will get you hit, like literally on some. They could they'll take it all the way into the realm of physical harm. But a hit job is when the media, who is a powerful arm, right? Who is an extremely powerful arm. Thank you, Bitcoins. Who's an extremely powerful arm, and I'm gonna call out everybody's name at the end of the show to put you on in the Akashic records for being solid and being legends and whatnot. You know, uh, but keep in mind, okay, always keep in mind that that this this time that we live in, the things that we're witnessing, you know what I'm saying, is not coming out of oh, surviving the hook noses. It's these stories that are popping up, these narratives that are coming into our community. They're not just coming into the community haphazardly. Like it's this is cosmic. Like this is a part of an alignment. You feel me? Where certain things are going to be revealed and exposed. 2019 is definitely the year of exposure. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of things get exposed. So the whole thing with this media hit with R. Kelly, and like I said, they do real life hits as well. They're called the mafia and whatnot, Jewish mafia inside of Hollywood. But R. Kelly got exposed. He got retried in the digital era, and he got retried in people's court for the new generation via social media in this digital era. So we were all witnessing something like that taking place, and people were talking, and people were triggered, and people were going back and forth as to the validity of who was right, who was wrong, who was to be held accountable, who played their hands in the whole fiasco, right? What was revealed was a lot of things. What stood out to me the most was the incompetence that was taking place on all sides of the coin. You know, the inability of the parent, you know, to keep the blindfolds on boy and girl and protect them from looking into that light where those demons are at. We're going to talk about this in a minute. You know, I'm all there for, surviving Weinstein, surviving Epstein, surviving Goldstein. I'm here for all of that. We're going to get into those conversations later on about, if they're going to do this with Kells, then why didn't they? Why didn't they? That's not how hits work. Just to answer anybody's questions, like I said, this is a hit. And it was a lobbied hit that was put together by people who put money up, a lot of money up. You know what I mean? A lot of bags were put together and combined. A lot of funding and stuff like that went into this hit. It was a lobbied hit. You feel me? And it had an agenda attached to it. Definitely had an agenda attached to it. But when I looked at it, I was like, damn, this case is very interesting, what it is that's being shown to us, right? Because a few weeks prior to that, we were breaking down this movie called Burbox, right? We were decoding Burbox. We were explaining what Burbox initially was trying to explain to the people and try to share with them. And then directly a week later, just to show you how these ancestors are working with us, just to show you how in tune certain things, when you're in tune with certain things, how you can see it. About a week later, we get some real life Burbox shit. Because Watch. In the movie Burbox, the premise of the movie is people are to be blindfolded, right? The way that people are able to stay sane, the way and be able and not look into the light. Okay? And not look into the light. Remember, that's what the blindfolds represented. It wasn't about being afraid of the dark, it was being afraid of this light. And this light was all pervasive. This light was sunlight, and this light was other forms of light. So to be blinded, to stay in the darkness, to keep the blindfolds on, was able, the parents were able to maintain the innocence of the two children, boy and girl, right? Boy and girl. She was able to keep them away from seeing certain things by having them blindfolded. Then a week later, we're watching a situation where boy and girl have been exposed to some demons. They took the blindfold off. So what is being done to R. Kelly? They're shining the light on R. Kelly. You're beginning to see him in a different light. The light, when you see R. Kelly, the way that they set up this hit, the way they lined this whole thing up, the way that they built up this docuseries, that is very questionable in it of a sense. But I'm just giving you from a non-emotional standpoint was what they were being done in journalism terms. That was a journalistic hit on him. You feel me? And to put him in you know, in a whole, you know, in a whirlwind of energies. Okay. So the light is being shined. Okay. Remember, being shined, people are being exposed to what they see as a demon, a sex demon. Okay. Him, the fact that Mr. Trapped in a Closet, his laundry is the fact that they're exposing that he has a demon, but it's a sex demon. Because remember, the demons take over people, and they basically express themselves in different kind of deviant ways. So some people have sex demons on them, right? The same thing that you're seeing in the concept of Burbox when it's showing you how the demon is almost like a vampire. The demon was just who were infecting people. So it's bad that when people get molested and when people get taken advantage of and when people get, you know, basically raped, that those demons, that the person who is not in control of themselves, who have succumbed to their lower self. Remember, there's no self-mastery. You somewhat lost the war of self-discipline, and you've allowed something to take over you. So when something takes over, it's like a demon. It's a sex demon. Okay? As people got thief demons on them. You know what I'm saying? They always stealing something. Certain people have demons who take lives on them, killer demons, murder demons, and whatnot. They take it a step further, and they get taken over. You understand? And they have these entities or these egregores that are basically attached to them. That was the pictures that they were showing you in the movie Bird Box, where he laid it out when he came out of the psych ward. Remember, the people who were exposed to the darkness, who were called crazy because they was telling things, they were, you know, explaining things for what they were. So she's honorable because she was able to get those children to the promised land without sacrificing them, without them seeing certain things that they can unsee, by protecting them. Remember the concept in the movie, regardless of what you know, the concept is what we're talking about. In the concept, they had her as the protector who would go through. She was killing people. She was making sure that the children were not exposed. So now these who the parents were, the parents brought them to him, and the children were exposed. The minute he got them, they were exposed to some shit that they couldn't unsee, and that's where the demons get them. Burbox, surviving Burbox. And remember, this is like a vampire culture. So once he is abusive, or you know, once he does what he does, that entity, you know, it multiplies. And you can see by watching that documentary, because it exposes one person in the United States of America who has a lot of fetishes, and he's what people may call the pimp lifestyle, because he has a harem, right? He has a harem. You know, people are getting upset because he has a fetish harem. But on one end, there's a movement with sexual liberation and freedom to make that the order of the day and to not judge that. Do you see the parody in the whole thing? Like last week, the whole movement was about liberation. They want to do whatever they got. They want to have slut walks and do what they got to do. They don't want to deal with self mastery. They don't want to deal with subduing the demons. They just want to let it run wild and have you in a concerted agreement to either turn the other cheek or join them in all of that stuff. You know, and make no mistake about it. For my cosmophysicists that are out there, for the people, for the astrologers out there, go body it. I know y'all gonna have a field day because it's all kind of information. But I'm just sharing the similarities that I'm seeing in both movies. I mean, and because this is a movie. The R. Kelly shit is a movie. Burbox is a movie. Her main goal was to shield the children and not expose them to that light. That light is your phone. What comes through your phone? The light. That's when you're seeing child porn. That's when you're watching beheadings. You know, certain things that condition and programming and desensitize you and get you into a place where you're susceptible to all kind of other different, you know, suggestions and distractions, and just the kind of instructions that put you in a place where you make decisions that are not necessarily in your best interest. So what did they say with R. Kelly? He said, I didn't look into the light. He didn't watch the documentary. He refuses. He has his blindfold on. Remember, he's the Pied Piper. So you see the similarities. In Burbox, you got Sandra Bullock in them with the what? They have the blindfold on. But when you deal with surviving R. Kelly, he's the Pied Piper who comes in with the blindfold on, but he has the blindfold on, but it has the eyes on as the Pied Piper. Okay. And everybody understands who the Pied Piper is. You feel me? We all understand who the Pied Piper is. And we understand if you do a simple Google search, you'll go and get the original story of the Pied Piper, which is, you know, it just tells you right there, like it's some demonic, ritualistic pedophilia, okay? Something that was accepted, and it was it's part of the traditionalist movement. It's part of their traditionalist ideals, meaning that they are contingency. They don't want to change. They want to go back to what they originally are known for and have done throughout history. And you know what that is. We don't have to be, I don't want to be graphic. And I really don't want to harp on this whole topic for too long. But, I'm going to offer a perspective that I have before I spin off and go and deal with other things that are serious that are out there. But I just wanted to, before I close the book on it, I just wanted to touch on that reflection that I had. I'm putting that in my book, In the Fear of a Black Planet, Media Manipulation on the Black Mind. I've been doing some work. I started, finishing it up last night. So that's coming real soon. Um, we also have this double lecture coming up in Brooklyn, January 19th and January 20th, right there at Nicholas Bookstore in Bed-Stuy, the day before the blood moon. That's gonna be monumental. Blue been sharing some information that he got. I've been sharing some information with Blue that I got, and it's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a movie for real. We'll be live streaming that as well. But definitely before that date, you're gonna get a preliminary. You'll get something. So parents, it's important to shield like Sandra Bullock did to Boy and Girl. It's gonna be very important, and this almost is gonna sound baseless, because to say to shield your children from seeing certain things in the internet age or the smartphone era, you know, or the era where everything is accessible in the technological digital age, um, it's possible, but you have to have a plan, to be prepared to implement that which you say. But you know, we should expose them to the light before they're exposed to the light. And that light is something that's going to confuse them. It's going to trick them. The smoke and mirrors. You feel me? Deers in the headlight, flashing lights. You know, you want to prepare them. You want to prepare them. The situation that we saw with R. Kelly, where there were people, they were grown adults. He had a system, he had a machine, he had a group of people who were willing participants in any form of activities that would be considered demoralizing, just outright questionable and borderline criminal. You know what I mean? And borderline criminal. Somebody said be louder. I can't be that louder. I'm louder. It's loud already. And I'm saying borderline criminal because I'm not no investigator, so I don't know whatever crimes may have been committed. They could be legally prosecuted, but I'm sure that if there were crimes committed, the way that he has his team working with him, they covered that up. They covered that up. Power, money, and power, and fame and status. It's a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a drug. It's an opiate. It's an opiate. So this world of being sexually, what they call liberated, or what they call sexually exhibitionists, or sexually unhinged, right? Basically a code word for letting it all hang out. A lot of the stuff that you were hearing in that documentary about men being the dominators or dominatrix or being treated like, a pet, or having a tap and whatnot, or having somebody be real, gorilla pimpish around you. I mean, this might be something that you have to factor in when you sign up for that lifestyle. You know what I mean? When you sign up for that lifestyle, that shit gonna come with it. And you know that's what's coming with it. People can't act all fake naive for lifetime because, they might not be that hip and whatnot. But those of us that are in the streets, we know how that shit goes down. We know how it goes down. So once again, like I said, I'm gonna move on to greener pastures. Uh, I'm highly encouraging the family, to take the opportunity to build any kind of bridges. They will bring you to a place where you could find some kind of resolve, if that's what ye seeks, if that's what you're looking for in your journey, because you're gonna have to face it in your journey anyway. So when opportunities present themselves synchronistically, I just think the universe might be talking, and we might find ourselves in that day and time where, we have to be aware of that. You feel me? You know, other than that, the case that we were dealing with, we built on quickly. And hold on, somebody said R. Kelly, egregor or predictive programming for normalizing sexual slavery. Okay, this is my thing with anything that gets exposed. Once again, looking into the light. So looking into the light is, or shocking, or basically exposés and hit jobs like the one that you just saw, where once again an icon is taken down in front of the people, uh, uh, accused of a levy of charges, flogged, whipped, castrated, hung, you know what I mean, and crucified in public, a public hanging, right? Because remember, that's what takes place on these on these internet highways and in the digital world, in cyberspace. They are committing, online lynching. Okay, people get their avatar attacked. Those, people get basically like banner snatched. Like the move, like banner snatch on Netflix. You know, you could get you could on some Matrix, like you could die in a Matrix. You know what I'm saying? So people are attacking a lot of people, and you know, it's understandable. It's understandable. But I know by these people exposing a lot of that deviancy, it has the reverse effect of creating more people who are drawn to that light. Remember, they're shining that light. They're exposing you to something that you might not necessarily be ready to be exposed to. You feel me? Or they might be exposing you to something that you've been exposed to, but because their intentions are not pure, and because they're not telling the whole story, you feel me? Because the whole story would definitely be both sides of the coin. Let's be clear. The whole story, from a real investigative documentary standpoint, would have to be R. Kelly's, uh, you know, his point of view, his story. You know what I mean? Because you always got to have both sides tell their story. You know. So I see predictive programming in what's being done. I definitely can see predictive programming in what's being done. Uh, when the solutions, it's just open ended and there's no solution attached to this can of worms that are being opened up, you know, and they throw the solution out to where they're like, yo, let's just publicly denounce him and hang him and shame him and stone him and berate him and do all of these things, tear him down, stop playing his music, pull it from the radio, pull it from the funerals, pull it from the weddings, pull it from the graduations. Remember, R. Kelly, if nothing, is an evil genius. He managed to do what? He managed to be the king of secular music, but he created anthems that fit into Black experiences. Music is magical and powerful, and music rises above morality in a sense because music is a time machine. Okay, because music is attached to experiences, and experiences are attached to memories, and memories don't live like people do. You understand? So you cannot throw away certain music. So when you attack the person who created the music, you're attacking people's attachment and their memory banks, and you're attacking people's experience that they have to that music. That's why the conversation online is about separating the man from the music, because the people do not want to let go of the music, because if they let go of the music, they're going to let go of experiences. Nobody's going to denounce the goddamn song that they danced in their wedding with their wife. They're not going to denounce their graduation song. They're not going to denounce. They got I Believe I Could Fly at a funeral that I was at. How about that? I believe I could fly. So he's a genius for being able to write some of the most my time period generation. He's been able to write the anthems that fit into Black experience, like Marvin, like Stevie Wonder and them were doing in their era. He's a legend for that. I Believe I Can Fly, Step in the Name of Love. Remember, he came out with Step in the Name of Love, a song for adults, a song for it's a Chicago sound, but it's a grown man and grown woman, and but it's an adult song. He came out with that after he beat the case, or I believe during the case, during the fiasco. He dropped Step in the Name of Love on some, we're gonna get into some grown man shit. You understand? And then the parents who are all grown, they just danced away you know what I mean? They danced away their anger. Then he did I Believe I Can Fly. That's a hymn. That's a hymn. That's a Negro hymn. Then he did, so not only is he controlling the remember, he's the architect. He would be seen as the architect almost, or the code writer of our generation's way to basically express ourselves when we get ready for some 12 play, and it seems like you're ready and your body is calling me, right? And I want to taste your honey love. You understand? And he was able to he was able to capture steps by step by step of the Black human experience. And that's what's attached to that legacy. That's what we're gonna have to be able to survive, because that's what that it has. He has so much attachments. Remember, not talking about the musician at the end of the day. I'm speaking about music as being a time machine, and you have experiences. You listen to a song and it can take you to a place that you were not thinking about a few seconds ago. It could bring you into the feeling that you had when you were 18. You know what I mean? Before they were saying, damn, homie, in high school, you was the man, homie. You know what I mean? When you was getting it. And, you know, that's something that I know because of the struggles that I've had in my research in hip hop. Them coins is heavy though. How about that? Them some heavy Bitcoins falling, knocking the phone down. So a man who got wild fetishes, right? Right? He like threesomes, but hey, he didn't not tell you niggas that he didn't like threesomes. He like no girls with petite bodies, but he did tell you niggas age ain't nothing but a number, you know. And he's a man with fetishes, you know. But like I said, just the way the society is being groomed right now, y'all being groomed to accept people with fetishes. And you can't fetish shame. Not in this PC culture. If you fetish shame, then you're not going to be friends with your LBGT guys and girls because they might be into some real kinky, considered deviant shit themselves. So if Kels is living out the life of a pimp, where he got a brothel, you know what I mean? And he got a stable, with women of all ages running through that thing, talking about the stable is so big that they never seen each other. They had to make appointments to see each other at the bathroom. Then I guess you have to condemn all pimps because who knows what's going on behind closed doors. And being that everybody wants to be, y'all want to be State Farm agents and start inspecting what's going on in niggas' bedrooms and in their living rooms and kitchens and whatnot. All of them people walked into that house willingly. You feel me? It take two to tango. Those young ones, they got brainwashed, but they got dropped off, right? Burbox. They didn't have no Sandra Bullock treating them like boy and girl. She wasn't dropping them little niggas off nowhere. They got dropped off with Kels after the case, after the urination, after Dave Chappelle made jokes. You understand? After niggas, Jay-Z and them maced that nigga. These niggas was dropping their little ones off, they little innocent ones. You know what I'm talking about? And they probably was like, oh, she's not his type. But he was like, this that shit that I like. You know what I mean? Here's like Chief Keef and them. Don't like. I don't like no old bitches. That's that shit I don't like. Kicking their parents out and keeping the child hostage. But, and I have, I'm not making light of anything. Disclaimer, just disclaimer, nobody deserves to be taken advantage of, molested, kidnapped, held against their will, hypnotized, hypnotized with stardom. The power that a star has? Do you know the power that an entertainer has amongst mere mortals? You know what I mean? Women just give them their daughters. It's almost like the biblical story and whatnot. They're groomed and they're reared to hand over their children to people in power. Keep in mind, a lot of people come from places in the Caribbean and also places in Latin America and also other places where that's the culture, where the mothers give the children away. You feel me? They take the children to the shores and wait for the boats to pull up, or the plane. They take them to the airport and they putting them on sale. Like this shit is Craigslist, back page. So coming to America, because you have social services and other things that have already been set up. You know what I mean? You get hipped to what the system is. You get hip to how to play the system, and this system doesn't necessarily require those sacrifices to be made in order to eat every day or in order to live a functional lifestyle. So America is seen as a land of milk and honey and a land of opportunity because they're not forcing women to sell box openly. Okay? That's how that shit goes down. But it's taking place all around. It's taking place all day, every day, even on a Sunday. You know what I mean? And because of it taking place and because of the lack of, people don't even care. There's no value added to sex workers and child prostitutes and victims and whatnot, and people who are just basically young girls who are looking for a father figure, looking for somebody who exemplifies power and authority. Some bullshit, right? And they just be like, "Yo, I'm rolling with this. I'm rolling with this nigga right here. I'm rolling with homies. I'm rolling with the homies." You know, and these are the things that happen. Keep in mind, when I was younger, it wasn't young niggas waiting for older women to pull up and we're hopping in their Acura Legends and skirt to go handle our business. It was the young women who we had crushes on hopping into the cars of the drug dealers who were way older than us after school, and they were skirting. This is how they were growing up real fast. You understand? This was taking place a lot. So a lot of our hearts were crushed at an early age when we realized that, damn, I thought that's something that we weren't supposed to be doing. Oh shit. These niggas is way older than us. And they giving little Jasmine and Precious and Shaquita and them the business. And then they come in with new sneakers and things of that nature and whatnot. We like, damn. So then we like, all right, cool, because they're like, yo, the girls are saying like, yo, we mature faster than y'all. Okay. So we require somebody who is at a faster speed that's up to where we're at. Y'all can't talk to us about things that we're into and whatnot. So we're gonna run to the older guys. So he's like, all right, cool. That's how you're gonna do us. All right, whatever. Then we go ahead and we get our thing together. And then once we come up, you know what I mean, and we become we come of age, those same girls who sometimes have noticeable effects and quantifiable regrets to making those moves and being in growing up too fast, or trusting people who were not necessarily upright individuals, and left a lot of girls with children, just a lot of things. So it was like, we witnessed shit like that. We witnessed that. And that didn't sit right because, it took two to tango, but we knew that those young girls were, being manipulated in a sense because they couldn't, it was, they couldn't say no. Niggas was pulling up in spaceships. You know what I mean? They was hopping out. They was pulling up in spaceships. You know, I think around the time, I don't know if the culture was promoting things like that, but that was just the culture. It is what it is. We was in gangs, right? You in a gang. In the gang, you got the big homies. The big homies are always there. So who do you think the girls are always going to be attracted? They're going to be attracted to the big homies. They're not attracted to no little niggas. They're going to be attracted. They play the pyramid game in most situations. You know what I'm talking about? They do their shit top down. So they went with the big homies. The big homies would be like, yo, bring them to the hookie party. Remember we had hookie parties. And what do you think we're doing in hookie parties? So, and I'm not in the clubs with these niggas dancing to Finito and Drake and whatnot. But I know that from what I see from the music that I'm hearing them make, this is what they're on right now, times 10. Did it start with my generation? I don't know. It might have started with the Coolie High niggas. It's a teacher moment. It's a teacher moment inside of our culture. If people are willing to step up and teach, they could You know, they could be very impactful in helping a lot of people come to a better place, a better place, a more understandable place about, you know, what the hell is going on around them, right? And what's really at stake. You feel me? What's really at stake? You know. So right on the heels of that, in great synchronicity manner, the minute we cooling off of the R. Kelly thing, I wake up and I see an article that says that the killers of the young girl named Jasmine Barnes, I believe, in Houston, Texas, which was believed to be a Caucasian Anglo-Saxon in a red truck, came to be two African American young men, right? I was told or I saw, I don't have firsthand accounts, so I'm not going to be out here quoting something that's not true and factual, but there's been speaking about them being set up by people who claim to know them via social media. And I've been, I was privy to see the messages where they were like, nah, that's my people's. They didn't do it. They got set up. Um, what I do know is that they flipped the story and said that two black young men shot up the red truck, thinking that that was a rival op, a gang opposition, and killed the 7-year-old. And then the red truck sped off as the shots were ringing out. And eyewitnesses who saw the red truck were saying that that was the shooter. This is what they're saying right now. This is something that doesn't necessarily sit with me as truth, because I understand um, how certain things can be manipulated. I just saw the HBO documentary about Sandra Bland in Texas. This is in Texas as well. And what I do know for a fact is in that state there's a cowboy, and I'm not talking about Dax, whatever his name is. I ain't talking about the football players either. I ain't talking about Ezekiel and none of them. I'm talking about some real cowboy mentality, cowboys and Indian type shit, like good old boys, good old boys, and hotbed, extreme hotbed, like headquarters to a lot of the people who are out here um, carrying out operatives that are not in our best interest. You understand? So I'm gonna, as that story evolves and whatever new information comes out, whatever's being revealed, I'll be, we'll touch on it. We'll touch on it. You know what I'm saying? We'll touch on it. You know. But what it is touching is touching and is triggering a lot of people's already outrage that they're levying against, you know, the uh the culture, you know, the culture. Yes, that's something I also noticed too, sister. The Jasmine Barnes and the sister from McDonald's is named Yasmin. So there was Jasmine who lost her life. Then, on New Year's, Yasmin in McDonald's in St. Petersburg, Florida, a sister called Queen Yaz, right? Yasmin is spelled Yas, and Jasmine was Jas. They have very similar names and attributes. I found that very synchronistic, synchro mystical. You understand? Like I said, the great divine speaks through signs. It's only up to you if you're able to see what's being, how you're being communicated to. Jasmine Headley. Yeah. and Yasmin Barnes, in the same city that the young brother got shot in his apartment by a female cop. Exactly. Exactly. Um, Yasmin Headley, the one in New York. Which one in New York? Who was in New York? Yeah, shout out to the family in Vegas on the 22nd of February. Red Pill and Blue Pill will be in Las Vegas. It's called Kemet in the Desert Part 6. We will be in Las Vegas 22219. So the second, this February the 22nd in Las Vegas, in the desert, you know what I mean, in that magical land, we will be in the building. So please pull up. Oh, that was in Dallas with the shooting in the apartment. Okay. Well, we're talking about the state of Texas. So these things are taking place in the state of Texas. Um, the state of Texas, for the brothers and sisters that live in the state of Texas, just have your eyes wide open. Be very on point. Mobilize and organize and do your best to spread information, basic information. Have a lot of you know, I got a lot of it's a lot of potential. It's a lot of people who are, in need of the knowledge, and they're also seeking the knowledge. Because I get a lot of response correspondence from people in Texas, and they speak about the need to find people within their network. So that's important. You know what I mean? Salute to everybody out there. Yes, indeed. 444. We got 444 in the chat room. Salute to Blue Pillar 44 in the chat room. Oh, Jasmine Headley is the one in New York that the cops were ripping the baby out of her arms and attacking her newborn. Okay? Her name is Yasmin Headley. Then we have Jasmine Barnes. Then in McDonald's, we have a sister named Yasmin. Then Aladdin is coming out, and the character is named Yasmin as well. So I'm just saying that Arabic name should be, it should be looked at and examined as a marker. It keeps popping up. It's talking to us. Persia. Yeah, yeah. They never catch our killers. Why now? You would ask why now? Why now? Because why not now? Keep in mind, you are seeing the weaponization of the media. The media is all pervasive. The media is showing you the power of its arm. When it gets activated, when it's weaponized, when it has a target, it's going to attack it. So it seems that it's, aiming its arm, its propaganda, the arm that it has, that's known for its propaganda, and it definitely, is definitely shining a light on our people in a very negative way, in a very questionable way. And when you think about why they would do that, it's right in front of you. Why not take the heat off of them and put it directly onto you? Why not take away, remember, you'll never see surviving Weinstein, you'll never see surviving Epstein, you'll never see surviving the Roman Catholic Church. The only way that you're going to see that, because people be calling for that, is that you're going to have to bring together all of your brilliant minds, and you're going to have to shine the light. You're going to have to turn the light. That's not coming from Disney. That's not coming from that's not coming out of Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix is not going to. No, you're going to make that content and shine that light. Remember, we went to the Virgin Islands, and I came back on Melanin Monday 42, I believe, the one where I'm in St. John's, and I'm saying it during the Melanin Monday. I'm like, look, we drove by Jeff Epstein's island called Orgy Island, They gave him another island next to his island so he could bring underage. He's a billionaire pedophile. And his connections, right? If they want to talk about Kel's connections and who he's linked with, he's not in a sexual manner. He just made songs with Chance the Rapper. Chance didn't apologize for being in a menage with R. Kells. He just was in a song with him. But this Epstein character, in lawsuits and depositions, they're naming people such as surviving Donald. Okay? They're naming big hitters like Bill. They could be researchable. I'm not up here giving you heresy or speculatory gossip. I'm giving you solid facts. You won't see surviving Jeff Epstein. You won't see surviving Harvey Weinstein. I'm challenging. It's going to be the melanated conscious or woke community's duty to go ahead and fashion a hit. You have the blueprint and the template on how to put together a concerted hit, a hit job, right? A hit job, a character assassination to expose and to completely show that the emperor has no clothes, to give them the all of the piecemeal, give them all of the scattered and put it all together and feed it to the people. It was, it was a good piece to show you that. So if you want to see that, I think you're gonna have to do it because they're not interested in doing that. They're really not interested in pulling the covers back and telling on themselves. That's like an episode in Scooby Doo where you niggas is waiting for the monster to find himself. Like it was him the whole time. So they're all in bed with each other. They're all in cohorts. Their society, this is a part of their tradition. They're traditionalists. It is tradition. It's not your tradition. You're becoming that. They're being that. It's a difference between being and becoming. Completely becoming that, and they're just being themselves. This is what they do. This is what they do. Those of us who've been exposed to their light, Burbox, those of us who took off the blindfolds and were able to stare their demons in the face, because remember, they say people, when they show you their real selves or when they show you their true selves, they pull back the mask and you see the demon come out. Okay? People speak about being exposed to these monsters and their demons. So in the movie Bird Box, they talked about being a mask off. Yeah. Mask on. Yeah. Mask off. So they talked about pulling back that mask and seeing the demon. I could show you many accounts of where people spoke about that in detail and speak about that in detail, being exposed to the monster within them. And keep in mind, that monster is inside of a lot of people and it gets triggered and it gets turned on. You understand? And it goes online when you get exposed to certain things that might wake that demon up. That's why in the movie, Bird Box, certain people would be exposed to the light, and then whatever was inside of them would wake up and cause self-inflicted harm upon themselves, suicide themselves. You understand? Take themselves out, sabotage themselves, self-destruct, lose lose control of themselves and let the demon take over. What you see in a sex demon, he's letting the demon take over. He's not in control of himself. This is the opposite of what you would see if they were having, a series where they were profiling somebody who has mastery over self, mastery over their lower self, mastery over their some of their perversions, mastery over some of their fetishes. You understand? They could have been showing you a polygamous man who's considered to be, sexually disciplined, which would factor in the opposite of sexually deviant in order to just, present to you a contrast, or in order to present to you a measuring point, because people seem to not have a point of reference when they're trying to, you know, articulate or think about what the fuck is upright, or you know what I mean, like what are we supposed to be like? This nigga scratching their heads like, I didn't know that pissing on bitches was bad. Like, people are confused right now. They didn't know that they couldn't urinate on women because in shades of the 50 Shades of Grey, women were coming home and they were asking men to pee on them, to urinate on them, and they were asking them to engage in sadomasochism. You understand? You feel me? So they confused. They're like, what the fuck? Like, you know, what is it gonna be? What is it gonna be? I thought we was freaks in the morning, freaks in the evening. I thought we was freaking it out because R. Kelly been walking them dogs. He been walking us for a very long time. He's to men what is to these sisters. He's to men and male sexuality, black Western male sexuality, post New Jack City, my nigga. Okay, post New Jack City. All the young black men that were born into this bitch, right? All of the black men that was 90s and 2000 babies. The Chief Keefs out there. He's the Pied Piper. You understand? He's the Pied Piper. You know what I mean? He's the architect of this paradigm that you exist in, where it's about, you know what I mean? It's about it's about it's about that 12 play, that TP2, you know? It's a lot of Kel's programming in the minds of our generations. I'm just being an observer. I'm not judging nobody. Let me be clear. I'm just observing, being the observer, taking a observation. And me and Siri could be having this conversation, but I'm just having it with you right now, you know. And that's what I see. I see that his influence is, I think it's deeper than what we may even know. You know, so post, and with him being one of the architects, he's spawned and he's created, and he's like, if we're dealing with like Gremlin and Stripe, he spawned hundreds of versions of himself. Or, like the movie Split, where that dude had all of these different personalities. He has his hand in so many other different situations. So I'm only putting this into perspective, being a correspondent of the culture. I just want to put that in perspective. And I'm sure that people definitely knew this already. But it's just my duty to lay this thing down, unpack certain things that are taking place as we move on. You know what I mean? As we move on. So yeah. That's that right there. How y'all doing tonight? We good tonight. Yeah, tonight is beautiful. We having fun tonight. We dropping some information. You know what I mean? The family is definitely in the building, adding on. Adding on. Yes. Centonia Brown, the sister, got clemency. That is the sister who was basically she was sentenced to 60 years. She killed a pimp. She killed her pimp. She killed a man who had her in a situation where she was being held in a sexual slavery, or she was being held in and being molested, right? She killed her John. So they're saying that our dude Kells is in Chicago living like a pimp in some of his harems. You understand? And the sister said in the documentary when he was smacking her up, she wanted to take him out or take herself out. So you already had women in his stable revolting and things of that nature, but they say that he runs the show like a pimp. So here it is. We have the sister who's just been granted clemency, and she's going to be celebrated. This is a victory. This is something that everybody should feel definitely. You should feel it in you. You should have a feeling of compassion to see any one of our people uh, released from legal slavery until they let every single person that doesn't deserve to be in those situations. You know, we don't have a problem celebrating one at a time, but I feel good for the sister. I know that her spirit is going to, be very strong, and she's going to have something very powerful to say about her situation. And I'm hoping that she can speak for the voiceless Black women, Latino women, Arabic women, whoever, who, are in bondage, are in slavery right now, who may need to, some awareness should be raised to their plight. You feel me? To their plight. So salute to her, you know. But like we say, you see how the synchronicity of it all works. You know, she killed her pimp, and today is R. Kelly's birthday. So on R. Kelly's birthday, you know, that's interesting. Oh, she killed the John. Okay, she didn't kill her pimp. Correction. We just went to snoops.com. She killed the John, right? She killed her John. Okay. The John might have been getting violent with her, and she bodied the John. Okay. So salute to a white man, of course. Yeah, it was a Euro. It was an Anglo Saxon who got killed, who lost his life. Okay. Um, did her freedom come in light of surviving R. Kelly? They were sex trafficking her correctly. Yes. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if I could say. I would say that it's synchronicities. I would say it was definitely synchronicities. It doesn't take any conspiracy theories to just look at the simplicity of the synchronicities that on his birthday, right now, at a time where people are up in arms by by seeing the light, by being exposed, or by being having their eyes open to what that lifestyle entails, because some people want to be tied up, some people want to be in harems, some people want to be running behind certain artists and just be groupies. I'm talking about, he had a super groupie network. His shit was laid out. His groupie network, he was laying them up in multiple rooms on tour dates, dealing with them from room to room, or bringing the rooms together, conjoining the box. So he was living his rock star lifestyle. He was living his Kelly fetish lifestyle. You know what I'm talking about? He was living his best life because he told you niggas that he had fetishes. He told you that he was a freak. He told you that it took 12 play. He been singing about the same thing since 90 something. That's what he does. That's what he does. And, you know, It is what it is. But let's keep in mind what was shared about the power of songs. We broke that down earlier. The paradox that exists when these songs are attached to good memories. You know what kind of memories are attached to 12th play? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't with no goddamn 14-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't doing no crazy shit, but I got good memories attached to that song. So I can't necessarily call a song evil because it did, it played it served its purpose. It has an experience, an innocent experience that is filled with dopamine and good energy attached to it. You know, so I believe that's where a lot of the inner tug of war is taking place. You know what I'm talking about? Yo, Honey Love was the shit. Yo, Honey Love is when I really start saying to myself, like, yo, dude got a sound that, you know, that speaks to me. Like, you know? I feel so freaky tonight. Hold on, y'all. Can you touch on what you'll be discussing in Las Vegas, in Vegas culture? Hmm. Well, what I do know that I'll be touching on in Las Vegas is the deaf culture. You know, I will be speaking about the state of affairs in the entertainment industry, using Vegas as a backdrop, tapping into that Vegas energy, you know, um, being in the desert and just knowing, like I said before, Vegas is a magical place. It's done wonders for me in my life. I got great experiences in Las Vegas. So I'm gonna just be tapping into that information, but it's gonna be a continuance of the Fear of a Black Planet series. Okay. Yeah. Uh, for the family, before I forget, I don't want to forget. Here's a commercial break. January 19th, January 20th in Brooklyn, New York, at the bookstore, at the historic bookstore Nicholas in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn on Fulton Avenue. Nicholas Bookstore, Bed-Stuy. Red Pill and Blue Pill will be having a 2-day lecture, January 19th and January 20th. It is a holiday the next day, which is Martin Luther King Day, but it's also a blood moon on the 21st. Okay? Very powerful celestial day. We're going to be doing 2 lectures. The first lecture is going to be the three-headed monster. It is going to be a monumental historic lecture detailing in ways that you've never heard before information pertaining to the 3 wars that our people have been exposed to, the light, the assault that our people have been exposed to, the policy that our people have been enacted under. That would be the war on poverty, the war on drugs, and the war on terror. All right. Then the next day, we're going to be doing blood moonologues. And if anybody's familiar with Blue Pill's entry, blood monologues on Black Magic 363, and also the lecture under that title, then you know the metaphysics and the occult and all kind of stuff is going to be flying. The numerology, the law of 44, 7 p.m. to 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern time, both days, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be streaming it. This is for the global audience. It's going to be available. The tickets are available via Eventbrite under hashtag Twin Pillars, PILLARS, Twin Pillars. Okay. So we're going to be making it available for the family. The live stream that the brother has at Nicholas is tight. It's it's reliable, and it's going to be you're going to be able to get everything that that you came for. Yeah, the super blood moon wolf eclipse. That's the 21st. The super blood wolf moon eclipse. So if you want to get your mind right and prepare with information the way that you know that we deliver it to get you right, be in the building. $44 for anybody that wants to come for 2 days. The 4 25 for each day. All right. So I want y'all to be in the building with me. The information on that is going to be next level. That's all I gotta say. Hey, Red Pill, speak on first generation West Indian Americans or African Americans not claiming what? West Indian or their African culture. I spoke about it before. The minute you become assimilated into American culture, the reason why it's called assimilation is because it's absorbing all of your ancient cultures. You're going to change your traditions into the tradition of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant westernized philosophy and a Judeo-Christian society. That's what you assimilate into. And in that assimilation, the same way if you were to put all black everything into the washing machine and pour bleach in it, you're gonna begin to lose color. So you're gonna begin to lose as you put all of those things together. Okay. You're not supposed to necessarily these cultures get sacrificed. These cultures get sacrificed. And because the way that westernized culture is set up, the way that this Western culture, this Americana or Americanism is set up, there are certain holidays, and those holidays are pledges. And when you participate in those holidays for more than one time or more than 1 year, and you continue to do it, you become slowly indoctrinated into Americana culture. Okay, it's in the participation of certain rituals like Columbus Day, like Thanksgiving, like Christmas, like New Year's. All of these are rituals. So one, you could, they have some people's grandparents who don't speak no English. They don't participate in too many things that Americans do and whatnot. But for the majority of the people who come here, they're willing participants in the ritual, even when people such as us are waking up and we're pulling away from the ritual and we're reclaiming our power in those rituals, so it's not as omnipotent or omni present in our existence, right? But then they just open the floodgates for people who come from all around the world who are not on that time. They're not there mentally. They're not there. They don't have the critical thinking that individuals are afforded who have been here for a certain amount of time, who have gotten to the stage in life where they're asking questions. These people who they just let here, it's going to take them about 10 years before they really start asking questions. Then another 10 before they said it's going to be. So they dilute, they open the floodgates, going back to the delusion. They open the floodgates and they pour in all of these numbers of people who are not playing on the same team. They're playing on. They're not on code. They don't follow anything It's not organized in hands. Everything they tend to follow is, something that you're organized religion, organized NGOs, organized corporate positions, organized colleges, going through higher learning and whatnot through the colleges. But it's all through that European aspect. And then when they come to America, I'm sure when they look around, they don't see they see Americanism at play. They see Americana pop hip hop pop culture as being the driving force. So they drop their flag. Yeah. How do I tip you for my YouTube? I don't do super chat because they don't monetize they demonetize everything that I'm on YouTube. They don't let that fly. I'm not like one of these guys out here where they just letting them get money on YouTube. They shut that down a long time ago. So I go through Cash App, money sign, Phil Moreland, PhilMoreland. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we not, and I don't, whatever. Yeah, try Venmo. I could try all of that. I got Vim. I'm just saying, like I said, YouTube, I'll screenshot it one day. They sent me an email and was like, fam, you cannot monetize anything on our streaming platform. We're declining you all across the board. Your money is no good. They don't want to do no business with you. That's what they told me in the email, and that's on mama, like on God. So I don't have no problem with that. I do what I do here and get this information out and keep it moving and keep building. The government shutdown is very interesting. How the government shutdown is still going on, and people who pledged allegiance to this government and are humble servants to the government, the federal government, you're being penalized by policies that have nothing to do. You're almost being extorted. You know, and it's sad to watch. You feel me? It's sad to watch because I know the impact, the negative impact that it may be having on multiple families and whatnot, and you know that's never a good sight to see. Suffering comes out of all of that. That's never good energy. But there's also redemptive energy. There's also solution based energy. There's also people who are gonna utilize. They're gonna be triumphant out of this situation. There's gonna be some heroes that are gonna rise out of this, who are basically gonna do their own shit and not depend on the government and not ever allow anybody to shut them out or to you know uh, stop their bag from coming. Yeah. They have the orange on black Garvey jackets. Yeah, I still got that. Now they started threatening people talking about their tax returns. So it's gonna trigger a lot of people who are nonchalant about the suffering that may be taking place now because it doesn't affect them, but they're gonna get people's feelings put into this stew of all of these negative sentiments towards the president and this anger and this lack and all of this, giving him energy. Why don't you feed us? Why don't you take care of us? Why don't you provide for us? Why don't you just pay us? You know, all of that energy. And then he's talking about he's not paying people to build a wall to stop the people who came into America who do a lot of work and don't get paid for that shit. The low wage labor, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. You know. You know. It came out today. What came out today? Yo, shout out to the family. I got some people who just sent me. This is Ushke, like Kush with Pig Latin. Ushke. Ushke. This is fire. Ushke. Mm-hmm. And the dope hat. Martial law. I don't know about no martial law. I know about Marshall Mathers. You know what I mean? They've been threatening you with martial law ever since you niggas had a TV. You know? Blue was good. Was good. What material is the hoodie? I believe it's cotton. I believe it's cotton. You know. They don't want to grow it. Yeah, pig Latin. Yeah. Ushke. Who should I ask about the vending for them 2 days? Get in contact with Joel Benjamin. Joel Benjamin, I think it's 525 on Instagram. Just put Joel Benjamin and his name will come up. Hit him up about the vending. Hit him up about the vending. Yeah, holla at Joel. And for any other vendor that wants to come through for those 2 days, spaces are limited. So if you want to be in the building, I suggest that you holla at Joel Benjamin as well. Let him know, send him a down payment or something and secure your space because spaces are limited. You said do the whole show in Pig Latin next week. I'll be up in this piece going crazy. Be like, oh, it Shay. You Uvi made it at it bay. Has anybody seen Bill Street? The movie about if Bill Street can talk? I haven't seen that yet. I'm putting that on my list. I see that it's getting some awards. My father told me that it's a good movie, so I'm definitely finna check that out. Now I watched the college football game, the championship game, but I'm sure my son's seen it and whatnot. Oh, you seen it, Blue? Yeah, break that down. I need you to. I need you to break that down. Clemson 44. Okay. Legend. Clemson. All right. He said, Blue said, come to the lecture. If you want to hear that breakdown, make sure your ass is in the building. Indeed. So, yeah, we're going to wind down, family. We're going to wind down. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I got a lot of work to do. Tomorrow's a very big day for me. I got some great news. So, I'm getting my mind right. um, in preparation for that. So, tonight was a very interesting conversation. Uh, we'll be back on Thursday for Third Eye Thursdays. So make sure you tune in for Third Eye Thursdays. I try my best to start it at 11 p.m. Um, could we get a roll call before we sign out tonight? I just want to know everybody that's in the building. I'm doing a little bit of you know, um, my own form of metrics and data mining. So, I know the certain cities that we're about to visit, we're looking for, the people in the building that are in those cities to be able, oh, okay, Tennessee, Harlem, Oakland, Bmore, Milwaukee, Cali, Ethiopia, okay, Poughkeepsie and Newburgh, Sacktown, Cleveland, DC, Virginia Beach, North Carolina, Salute, New Orleans, Chicago, Raleigh, Alabama, Ohio, Quincy, Japan, The Rock, New York, VA, Florida, Canada, T. Dot, ATL, BX, New Haven, Houston, Charleston, Watts, LA, The Universe, St. Louis, Flat Earth, Detroit, Iraq, Camden, New Jersey, North Coast, Bompton, Brooklyn, BK, New Jersey, Charlotte, Queens, Pittsburgh, Georgia, Detroit, Bmore, Pasadena, UK, Land of the Moors, Philly, Seattle, Miami in the building. Salute to Atlanta Flowers. Salute to Moo. Broward County, 305 Norfolk, Virginia, Queen City. All right. Oakland. So as you can see, it's a global with the global family being in the building, we can do global things. We can do monumental things. We can take Portland, Flint, Michigan, Dane County, Sirius, A, B, or C, bruh. You know, we could be doing some powerful things. You know, we are the solutions that we're looking for. Beantown, Michigan, Nashville, Tennessee. See, that's what I'm saying. We got to do this live stream. Like, I'm playing games if I just do a lecture and I'm just talking to the people that's sitting in the seats where there's a global audience that needs. So, you know, let's get it earlier. I'm switching my whole business model for the winter of 2019. I'm going to be in your on your in your phones, on your TV screens. I'm going to be more digitally computer based. I'm going to be computer based. I'm going to be doing a lot of online interactions, teachings, courses, and other forms of information, like the ebook that I'm putting together. This fire, you know what I mean? This fire. Like the 2-day event that me and Blue was doing, the live. So, stay tuned. I don't want to talk too much out of hand ahead of time. I'll take it step by step, but definitely just know when we let you know where to go and when it's going down, like we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff online. All right. So just prepare yourself for that. When y'all coming to Cali, February 22nd, Las Vegas. All right. February 22nd, Las Vegas. Philadelphia, Philly in the building. We might Super Bowl or ATL. You already know what that is. Super Bowl. Yeah, we got to talk about that, Blue. The fuck? I talk about that. KTL and the ATL. Our anniversary is coming up too for our KTL radio show, and that is the January the 9th. So please pay attention. If something pops up on your notification on the 9th, just make sure that you tune into that. Me and Blue Pill have some wonderful, wonderful, timeless, priceless memories to share with you of the contribution that Know the Ledge Radio contributed to the community at large 10 years ago. The timeless sacrifice, the priceless content that was provided by content providers Red Pill and Blue Pill through our show on Blog Talk, the podcast named Know the Ledge Radio. You know, we're reaching the 10-year anniversary, so stay tuned for that. Any questions? What's the situation in America? Is it really bad? I wanted to visit. Somebody asked, I had a question. What's the situation in America? Is it really that bad? I want to visit. Who told you the situation in America was bad? Hmm? I would never say that the situation in America is bad. You know what I mean? The situation in America is challenging. It's not bad. The situation in America is challenging. The situation in America is opportunistic for change. That's the situation. This shit, it has the opportunity to be lit. Travis Scott voice without the cooning. You know what I mean? It's not bad because people are like, oh, it's bad. It's not bad. Shit crazy. It's awkward. It's not normal. Okay. But it's in alignment with what they said is going to be right now. We're in the age of information. We're in the Aquarian age, but we're also in the Kali Yuga, and everything checks out. When you go and check it out, when you go and look at the back of the router, all of the lights are green, bro. You feel me? All of the lights are green. So it's doing what it said it's going to do. This is the Kali Yuga. Go and research what the Kali Yuga entails. This is the Aquarian age. This is the age of light. This is the electrified age. This is known as the digital age. Okay? This is the age of the entrepreneur. This is the age of the serial entrepreneur. This is the ethnopreneur. This is the age of the infopreneur. This is the age of AI. This is the age of virtual reality. This is the age of quantum consciousness. It's everything. So to say that, oh, this is what the America, it's bad in America, I would say for the sake of not speaking anything into reality that's not necessarily my reality. No, it's not bad in America. It is what you make it. It is what you make it. Yes, the PayPal is the Mark 125th at Gmail. Empress 444, Empress Brown is going to put the Mark 125th PayPal information for anyone that's inquiring. So you could definitely send donations, investments, anything that you want to send to that PayPal. Okay. So, you know, I believe that that's what we have to be able to see it for what it is. We have to be able to see it for what it is. Yes, Black Dot decoded the Bill Street out Black Dot. He did it justice. Um, so going back to what I was saying about that's what that is. Shout out to the 444 people in the building. Loving light to y'all in the building. Uh Rewind the show if you just got into the movie theater towards the end of the movie. This is the wind down. This is the epilogue. You know what I mean? We already came in here and did a little bit of cooking. We were stir frying it up. This episode is called Surviving Burbox. You know, and the emphasis, you know, in my humble opinion, and I could be wrong, but the emphasis is for those of us who see the light, for those of us that are looking into the light, for those of us that can see the demons, for those of us that are looking our demons in the mirror, for those of us that are looking within. You understand? Keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you do. All right? Keep doing what you do. And use the tools that are being afforded to you by platforms that are trustworthy and have integrity and character, right? And use those tools to help you in your ascension or to help you in your upgrade that could lead to your ascension, you know? And I don't even know what else to tell you, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, we'll be back Thursday. Uh, you know, we'll be back Thursday. Positive is the negative, that's contrary. It's the contrapositive. I cannot forget kingscounty.bigcartel.com. KINGZ is in zebra, KOUNTY.bigcartel.com. The Garvey collection is the hottest article of clothing for this Black History Month season coming up. All right, for 2019, for hoodie season. Make sure you tap into the collection. We got about 6 different styles, right? We got the camouflage style. We got the kente style. We got it with the orange neon border. We got it with the gold glitter border. We got it with the red neon border. You know, so go and check out that website, kingscounty.bigcartel.com. Use the code KNGZ KNTY 2020 KNGZ KNTY 2020 for free shipping over 50. So use that code and you'll be Gucci. You'll be Gucci fur. Yeah. So peace to the gods and goddesses.